guys, welcome back to my channel. So I seen a video that Wendy over at Toonfish Crafts had done where she got the little like the wax seal stamp things and she made silicone inlays of them. So I figured I wanted to give my hand at it and see if I could possibly do it. So I have this pack. It's a 7-pack of the stamps that I got. They're Harry Potter ones for a baby shower that was a Harry Potter theme for my son. So I wanted to make some just little magnets as gifts for everyone that attended. So I'm using my Let's Resin silicone rubber, and it's 1:1 by weight, not volume. And I'm just measuring that out right now. And then I'm going to mix this for a good solid 5 minutes to make sure it is thoroughly mixed up so that I don't have any issues like I had the first time I tried making a mold. Different silicone, but I don't want any issues. Mixing it up really well. And then I'm going to drop it on top of these wax stamps and cross my fingers and hope and pray to the silicone gods that this works. Now, having never done this before, and I really didn't know how much silicone it's going to take, and I mean, you can see, like, I'm just using the tip of the spoon. It only takes, like, a couple of drops on each one, really, to fill these, and I am going all the way over to the edge, kind of like if you're doming your resin piece or whatever, to make sure that all of these are completely filled. Now, these are crazy detailed pieces. They are, like I said before, they're the Harry Potter themed ones. So it's one for each of the different houses. There's the Hogwarts one, there's the Owl Mail or Owl Post, and then there is the Deathly Hallows one. Now, all of the house ones that have like the emblems on them are where it's like really detailed. So I wasn't sure, because of how small it is, if this silicone was even going to pick up all of the detail and how it would actually work in the resin later on when I go to make these magnets. So I was kind of a little nervous about it. I mean, the whole process, because I'm still very new to using silicone, period, was very like, you know, I was stressing. I was stressing pretty hard the entire time. So I did have most of the silicone that I mixed up left over, and here we are. This is 24 hours later, and it's time to peel this off and see if it worked. And oh my God, like it worked fabulous. Like it's really hard to show you all of the detail on here and get the camera to kind of zoom in, but look at all that intricate detail that the silicone actually picked up from something that I think it's probably smaller than maybe about the size of a quarter, maybe a little bit smaller. So I did, like I said, I had a lot of silicone left. So I had just thrown it inside one of my silicone Christmas molds that I actually did a video on before using a different silicone. And when I put it into this silicone into those molds, they turned out without an issue whatsoever. Like before, I had silicone left on the mold and it was just a whole thing. This came out perfectly. I didn't have to fight with it. I mean, it just peeled right out. So I don't know what the exact difference is between that teal silicone of Let's Resin and this one, but this one is by far, in my opinion, the better one. Like I've used it, well, I guess honestly just this once, but I used the other one twice, and both times I had issues with it being sticky and not being able to use it and just not curing right and whatever. And this one, the first time I used it, and I didn't have any problems whatsoever. I mean, everything that I did came out absolutely perfectly. So, like I said, I don't know what the difference is between the two of them, but this is my go-to from now on. So, now that we have our inlays done, I'm going to do this a couple of different ways. The first way that I'm going to do it is I'm going to take my Nic Pro Chameleon powders and I'm just going to paint over the inlay and then put that into my clear resin. Now, I don't have a whole lot of experience messing with inlays. I've only done it a handful of times, And I wanted to see, and this is the reason for doing it two different ways, if there's an actual difference in results between the two different methods, between doing it this way or putting it just the silicone inlay in the resin and then dusting your chameleon powders or mica powders or whatever on top of it after the fact. Like, does it really make a difference in your final finished piece? Which is my reason for doing it like this. So, these last two that I do right here, I think are probably my favorites. Just the different colors in them, they turn out fantastic. Like, I really really like these two a lot. A whole lot, actually. Okay, we're done with this. Now, these are the ones that I'm going to use, and all I'm doing right now is I'm putting a very thin layer of my Nic Pro crystal clear resin into these molds, just enough to cover the bottom of the ones that I'm going to use. Your discount codes for Nic Pro, as usual, will be in the video description box. The discount code that I have for the Amazon one is running out at the end of this month, so just keep that in mind if you are interested in using it. I do have one for their website that is good, that doesn't have an expiration date on it though, just to let you guys know. Pushing it around to the edges, I am going to go in there with my heat gun, pop the bubbles, go around again, make sure I'm hitting all those 90-degree angles, making sure that I have enough resin in there to cover the entire piece. Again, it's just a very, very thin layer. I don't need anything super thick on this part, and these molds aren't very deep anyway. And now it's time to put the inlays inside. So I've got all the bubbles out. I thought at first I didn't want to touch these and wipe off any of the chameleon powders I put on. So I started using tweezers, and very, very shortly, like after this one, gave up on the tweezers because it just wasn't working well. Just trying to put it into the middle of this mold and get it in there and not have it sink and all of that good stuff. I'm just carefully, carefully, carefully laying it in here and really, really trying to, not get any bubbles underneath of it. Again, fairly new to working with inlays, and the last time I did, I didn't really have the greatest success with it. That's pretty much it. I do kind of fiddle with it a little bit just to kind of work underneath of it and move them around and just make sure that they're centered and they're not going to go anywhere, and just kind of hope for the best. I can't see through it, so I don't know if there's any air pockets under there or not. Really don't know. All right. Now, this is the second way. This time I'm doing the same thing, right? I'm just pouring in the same resin into the same molds, and then I'm going to take these inlays, and I'm not going to paint them with my chameleon powders first. I am just going to go in and lay them in there clear. And this is where I realized that I think that I like this way better, because I can go over each individual inlay and all of those tiny little grooves, and I can actually get my fingers or get a silicone tool or whatever and kind of work the resin into all of those grooves and details so that the resin's already in there, and then I don't have to worry about bubbles on the other side. Like, my bubbles will be very, very minimal. I didn't know this at first. I do put in the first piece, but I do put it in and I just kind of lay it in there. And then I can see that there's these two huge, huge air pockets underneath. So I kind of pick it up, move it around a little bit, try to get it out. And then I realized that by putting the resin on the actual inlay itself before I put it in here, I don't have to worry about it. I'm really just kind of like getting rid of the issue before it becomes an issue, if that makes sense. Okay, so as I go through and I do this real quick, it's the same thing over and over again. I don't need to keep explaining it to you. I do want to let you know that I recently became an Amazon affiliate. So when I link the products in the video description. It will be for my Amazon affiliate link. This doesn't cost you anything more if you click on it and order from it. It just gives me a little added bonus, a little bit of commission just for, I guess advertising or whatever, saying that I use it. All right, 24 hours later, and it's time to take these inlays out, and they turn out fantastic. I don't have any issues with air bubbles, nothing. Like, it's awesome. Super, super happy about it. This is what I'm going to do from this point forward with this. Now, I do, and you will see the results at the end. I make a bunch of these. I think I made like 30 something of them, and I will show you all the different ones that I did at the end. When I'm going over these ones, I'm going to use black. I do some that have it's the eye candy deep ocean green one, and I use Litter Bees gold metallic powder on those ones, and you'll see. Don't think that that's necessarily the way to go, because I think it's a floating mica, and it ends up like, even though I clean it off, I blow it off, all the excess, it ends up still floating in there, and you can kind of see it just where it's not supposed to go. So that might not have been the best decision on my part to do. I mean, they still turn out okay. I much prefer these chameleon powders from Nick Pro that I'm using as opposed to that. And yeah, yeah. And I did decide that after I did that first batch and I had the different colors in there, that was the way that I wanted to go. Now, any of you that are Harry Potter fans out there, I do realize that these are not the colors for the houses. I'm using my artistic creative license on this to do the different colors. Plus, that and chameleon powders just don't have like an abundant array of specific colors that you're looking for as far as that goes. All I did here was I took a cotton bud and I'm just cleaning off any excess mica powder or chameleon powder that is, all around the edges, so that I have a pretty clean edge there, and, not a bunch of powder everywhere I don't want it to be. Really easy to clean off, and that's it. Then it's time to put the backing on these pieces so we can see how they turn out. But look at all that detail in there. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous. All right, and now it's time to see how our other ones turned out, the ones that we painted onto the inlays. And this one, it turns out okay. You can see the air pockets in there already. Now we're going to back them. I don't know. I thought I had footage of a close-up of all of them. I don't know what happened to it. I made this, honestly, like about a month and a half ago, and I don't know where that went. Again, using Nick Pro's resin, and then using the Baltic Day Black Abyss pigment paste, and we're just going to mix this up, back these pieces, and see what we got. So, just filling up the mold right now, pouring in slowly to get into all of those little crevices. I don't want more air bubbles than I've already got. Gonna go over it with my heat gun to thin out the resin, spread out the resin, top it off, and then we're gonna hit it with the heat gun again and let these babies cure. Super simple. Can't wait to demold and see what they look like. And yeah, I'm really excited about the outcome of these. I hope they turn out well. All right, ×2. This is our second batch. Same thing, same resin, same pigment paste. We're doing the same exact thing as we did in the other one. Fill these babies up and hit them with that heat gun. Go around those edges, which, yes, I know I did not do in the last batch, but I will be going around the edges with my dotting tool and popping all those bubbles with a heat gun. We're going to let these guys cure, and let's see what our results are. And I do have to say that today this video is coming out a little bit later because my son called me yesterday and they had their little twin baby boys yesterday. They're like 6.5 weeks early, but they are so cute. So we had to drive a few hours last night to go to the hospital and see them. And yeah, I'm super excited. I'm really, really excited that they'll be around for Christmas. Okay, so here we are. I love these. I realize that it's kind of hard for my camera to pick up all of the detail in these pieces, but they turned out abso-freaking-lutely gorgeous. Like they really, really, really did. I'm really, really stoked about these ones. Now, this is the set that I put the inlays in plain, like just clear and no mica or yeah, no chameleon powders until after the fact. But they did turn out good. I don't believe I got any air bubbles at all in these pieces. And I love the finish of them. I really, truly do. You'll be able to see when I demold the next sets, the ones that I did have a couple of issues with, and it's unfortunate. They still look okay, but they're nowhere near as beautiful as these ones are. And it was really like it was a process because I only had these molds here that were the size that I kind of wanted to stick with. So it was a process that took a little while to complete, but honestly, it was really, really easy. And when I back them, I am just using, like the thin magnets that come kind of rolled up and you can kind of cut them out to the shape that you need. That's all I did. They already got the adhesive on the back. The first one, I tried to use super glue just to make it like a little bit more, I thought stuck on or whatever, so I didn't have to worry about them coming off, but I didn't like how that turned out, so I ended up just sticking it on with the adhesive that it came with. Yeah, see, you can see all the air bubbles in there, and just it's these ones just didn't turn out as nice as that last set. Anyway, back to the magnet. So I did sand a little bit just so it would have something to it, for that adhesive to adhere onto instead of that flat, shiny surface. And I stuck the magnets on there and then I put them in just a little, like kind of like those bags that you would get for Christmas, the cellophane bags or whatever, just little bags like that. And they were a cute little gift for everyone that went to the shower. Really easy project, very inexpensive, honestly, to make if you have all the products that you need. And it was something cute and something that, everyone will have to remember the twins and the shower and all of that fun stuff with. So it was kind of cool. But we're coming up to the end here, and you'll see all the pieces that I was talking about. And you know, I made a lot. See how the gold floated? Not so keen on those ones. I definitely like that one set that I did, the second set that I did last with all of the colors and stuff, I think are my absolute favorites. Anyway, that's it for this one, guys. I will see you all on Thursday. Have a great day. Like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. I will catch you in the next one. Love ya. Bye.